Welcome back to another exciting edition of Racially Ambiguous Guy Criticizes Internet Celebrities. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Danny, you've been to federal prison twice for tax evasion. What right do you have to judge others? And you know what? That's besides the point. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dantavius. How you doing? And this is actually part 2 of my controversial internet figures Iceberg. Now, I'm sure there's still one guy out there who just woke up from a coma who doesn't know what an iceberg video is. And in case you are that one guy, congratulations for getting out of the coma. And an iceberg video is basically where I cover a range of topics, starting with the ones that are well known and ending with the ones that are more obscure. Oh, and also I moved into a new apartment recently. As you guys can see, the background's a little bit different. And I haven't gotten the chance to soundproof this room yet. So if you guys are hearing some echo in the mic, I apologize for that. Anyways, we're going to pick up where we left off last time on the 4th layer. So let's get right at... Oh, hang on. I'm getting a phone call.
Hey, it's Tony. Did you forget you owe me $10,000?
Tony, I said I'd pay you back, man, but I told you I lost all my money in that cryptocurrency scam.
It's been 3 months. The boss wants his money this week, or you can kiss your ass cheeks goodbye.
Okay, Tony, relax. I'll take care of it. This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Guys, let me ask you something. Has this ever happened to you? Your favorite influencer tells you to go buy some new cryptocurrency coin that just comes out. So you let your greed get the better of you and decide to trust this person who you've never met and probably doesn't care about you. So you buy the coin and it immediately raises in price right away. But then within a few hours it's basically worthless and now you're stuck owing 10 big ones to a loan shark named Tony. Well, thankfully with Skillshare you might be able to avoid this very specific scenario. You see, Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of ad-free classes covering a ton of different topics. In the past, when I've done ads for Skillshare, I always mention courses related to video making or being a YouTuber, but I recently watched a course called Cryptocurrency for Beginners by Mindfavor, which I really wish I watched before buying that coin earlier. See, my issue was I didn't know anything about crypto before getting into this mess, but luckily I will never make that mistake again, because Skillshare has so many videos covering multiple crypto-related topics, from beginner to intermediate to advanced stuff. So whether you want to pick up a new hobby, learn how to cook, or even learn about crypto, Skillshare's got you covered. And lucky for you guys, you can get 1 month free if you sign up through the link in the description of this video. You heard me right. I said 1 month free, but only for the first 1,000 people to sign up. Anyways, guys, I gotta make some phone calls right now, so let's get back to the video. Yandere Dev is the online handle of a man named Alexander Mahan, who for the last 8 years or so has been developing a game called Yandere Simulator. Now, if you don't know what a yandere is, that probably means you've touched a woman before, so I'll explain it for the people who haven't. A yandere is an archetype used in anime to define a character whose main personality trait is over-obsession with somebody, usually a male character. Their love, admiration, and devotion is so strong that it's often expressed as an excessive obsession. They're often seen as characters that are crazy in love with somebody. It's basically a girl that's so obsessed with a guy that she's willing to kill other girls just for looking at him. One day, Alexander decided that he wanted to get put in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the biggest weeb on the planet, and he decided he was going to accomplish this feat by creating a game around the yandere trope. And it all started out with this Reddit post. Play as a yandere girl, fall in love with a boy and stalk him at school. Stalk him and kill girls who talk to him or look at him. Have to use stealth and school supplies to kill your victims. Have to hide/destroy the bodies, hide/destroy evidence, etc. Must infiltrate his house to kill his potentially incestuous sister before she seduces him. Climax of game is chasing your victim through a forest with a butcher knife screaming, "Why won't you love me?" Yandere Dev grew a small following of people who were interested in the development cycle of the game, but over time he drew criticism for his lack of work ethic, poor coding skills, and overall shitty attitude and inability to accept help or criticism. This combination of factors has led to him being subject to a lot of online mockery and memes made at his expense. And the criticism against him didn't stop with the stuff I just mentioned. Yandere Dev committed the #1 cardinal sin of the internet: being cringe. There's a lot of cringy clips of him on the internet, but the one that gets clowned on the most is this clip of him drinking milk out of a wine glass.
I, Eva X, humbly submit a toast to Nicholas Alexander for successfully managing to pirate Warcraft 3 so that he may play Defense of the Ancients. Congratulations, Nick. Enjoy your Dota.
He's become what's known as a lolcow, or an individual who's deemed highly exploitable and therefore susceptible to online trolling and flaming due to his or her display of gullible behavior online. Keep that definition in mind because there's going to be quite a few lolcows from here on out. Lionmaker was a Minecraft YouTuber who gained a large fan base mostly due to Minecraft hide and seek videos that he would post. And just like every other adult who plays hide and seek with children, it turns out he was a podiatrist. And by podiatrist I mean, well, I think you know what I mean. The guy diddled kids, allegedly. Keemstar interviewed the mother of a Lionmaker fan on Drama Alert who had alleged that he asked her 13-year-old daughter for nude images.
Today on Drama Alert, we have a angry mother whose child had a very inappropriate interaction with a known YouTuber known as Lionmaker, a Minecraft YouTuber that's 27 years old. So 27-year-old Minecraft YouTuber that she's a fan of, ask your daughter to move the conversation to Skype. What happens next?
Well, she comes down to me. Fangirling, can you say? That's a new phrase to me, but I understand what it means.
Right.
Lion, he wants to Skype with me. So he jumped back to whatever the other one's called,
Twitter. Yeah.
Thanks. And then he asked her to send nudes.
But you know, this is Keemstar we're talking about, so at this point it would be fair to take what he's saying with a grain of salt. He didn't exactly have the best track record when it came to accusing people of this kind of stuff. But then more damning evidence came out. For example, he admitted that he had been seeing his girlfriend since she was 15 years old and he was 26 at the time. It was also revealed that he was actually jailed for being a creep. He was interviewed by YouTuber Colossal's Crazy about all this stuff, but he spent the whole 2-hour interview dodging questions and generally acting odd. Soon after this, YouTube would delete his channel. He pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth after that, except for an interview here and there. Oh, and then there's this infamous breakdown he had on Instagram, which made its way around the internet.
I see you are liars, and I see it. No, I'm not doing that, no. I already did that before and you fucked me over, You are a piece of shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
Extreme Games is a channel that makes extremely cringy content catered towards iPad kids. It's very cookie cutter, zero personality dog shit made to get views from kids whose parents don't pay enough attention to them. Like, look at this one. Crazy poo prank on brother. 1.7 million views. You know what? I do love a good cock-up prank, so let me just give it a chance.
We got a bucket of manure. This is literally animal poo. This is poo, guys.
Mans is talking about his own content.
This is poo, guys. And
Anyways, these guys now make 3 AM videos, and now I should mention that all 3 AM YouTubers, or I should say most, not all, no, you know what, all of them, all 3 AM YouTubers share a few characteristics. Number 1, they're extremely cringe. That's basically a requirement if you do this type of content. Number 2, they heavily clickbait their videos. And number 3, they have a young fan base and they manipulate the shit out of them. A good example of a 3 AM YouTuber who does all of these things is JStation, who was actually supposed to have his own entry on this list, but I didn't want this video to be like 3 hours long. Go watch Nerd City's video on him. They do a phenomenal job at, you know, talking about everything wrong with this guy. But let's get back to Extreme Games. Apart from making terrible content, these two idiots made a video claiming that they were quitting YouTube because they were both dying.
This is the end. We're quitting YouTube. This isn't clickbait.
Hey, I doubt it!
This isn't clickbait. It's not a joke either. We're actually quitting YouTube. It's so sad. It really is. Because we've worked so hard at putting this all together, making these videos for you guys.
This is
poo, guys.
We're both really sick, and this could be the last video that we ever make.
Listen, man, I know you're not supposed to make fun of people's looks in 2022, and I'm really trying to be a better person. I really am. But god damn, these mother suckers look like a pair of troglodytes. Dude on the left looks like a fucking goblin from World of Warcraft, alright? And the dude on the right looks like Franklin, bro. Seriously, he looks like Franklin, which makes me dislike him a million times more. I mean, it should be clear with anybody with more than 2 brain cells to rub together that this is fake. Like, the goblin dude can't stop smiling throughout the whole video. If you're dying of fucking vertigo, I highly doubt that you would be cheesing that hard. And you know what, man? I don't understand this. It's not like they weren't getting views. Like, you might pull a stunt like this if you're desperate for views, but they didn't have to do this. They were getting plenty of views. But whatever, man. Obviously, they didn't die, which is good, but they're still making content, which is bad, alright? They're still out here grinding some of the worst content in existence with over 7 million subscribers, alright? Is that fair? Is that fair that I'm sitting on a measly 150K and they got 7 million? Hit that subscribe button. Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist who went from actually exposing shady shit done by the elites to being an unhinged psycho, but a hilarious unhinged psycho. I gotta admit, man, I have a guilty pleasure for Alex Jones. Like, if you watch my channel, you know I've made a ton of references to him, and you know I do a killer Alex Jones impression. And you know what? I think he's the funniest guy on the planet. And let's be honest, a lot of the stuff he says turns out to be true later.
Look, here's the thing. Fine. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, see what I mean? No, but seriously, I think the best example of this is the infamous gay frogs quote.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
When you hear this, you automatically want to dismiss it because it sounds ridiculous. But if you actually look into it, you'll see that there's a lot of truth to it. A pharmaceutical company was in fact dumping chemicals into a lake that was turning the frogs into hermaphrodites, not gay, but still, I mean, it's more true than it has the right to be, you know what I'm saying? Dang, man, I just realized I was wearing these headphones, so why didn't anybody say anything? Anyways, if you watch Aki's Weird Stories video about it, it goes way in depth into the topic, and it's actually pretty interesting. But my point here is that there is some truth to what Alex was saying, but he's just so over the top and ridiculous that you just don't want to listen a lot of the time. And look, I'm not trying to say he's credible at all, because the thing is with Alex, he says so much stuff. I'm serious, man. This guy talks more than my ex-wife, alright? And you should have heard her during the custody trial. She wouldn't shut up. Anyways, he says so much shit that some of it is bound to be true, alright? When you throw enough feces at the wall, some of it is bound to stick, you know? And on the other side of this, you know, I don't want you guys to get me wrong. I don't always believe the mainstream narrative about everything, okay? There's a bunch of stuff I think is fishy, and I definitely acknowledge the corruption of the government and the elites and all that other stuff. But at the same time, you can't believe the exact opposite of the mainstream narrative every single time and claim to be a free thinker. Like, I feel that what a lot of people who are really into conspiracies do is form their opinion first and research after, instead of researching and then forming an opinion based on that research, which is what you're supposed to do. Anyways, Alex had a massive following on YouTube as well as his website Infowars.com. When he had said something, a lot of people would act on his words. For example, we all remember the dude who went into a pizza place in DC with a gun because he was investigating a child trafficking ring that was going on in the basement of that pizza place. A basement, which again, did not exist. Also, Alex was sued by the parents of children who were massacred during the Sandy Hook shooting because Alex claimed it was a hoax and these kids were crisis actors, which I never understood how somebody could believe something like that. Like, do you know kids? Are you familiar with how kids work, alright? Do you know how difficult it is to get kids to shut up about stuff and not spew secrets? So you're telling me that dozens or maybe 100 child actors all kept their mouths shut about this? Come on, man. Come on. Not to mention, child actors are awful, and you're telling me that they found 40 of them that were convincing enough to fool a nation into believing a fake shooting? Come on. But yeah, there were a lot of other situations like that, and for those reasons, Alex was eventually deplatformed from every social media website. These days, all he has is his website Infowars. Also, his wife left him and took the kids, which I can definitely empathize with, so keep your head up, Alex, and stay away from that chili. Low tier God. or LTG as he's also known, began his YouTube career as a competitive Street Fighter player. During his Street Fighter days, he would rage quit whenever he would lose, which was pretty often because apparently he wasn't very good. He would also use cheap tactics and refuse to play against certain players if he knew they were good. Now, his first viral video would actually not be related to Street Fighter at all, and it was a video ranting about how big of a fat piece of trash Boogie2988 was.
This is a video to some fat on YouTube named Boogie2988. You fat disgusting ass smelling blob, cheese drinking,
Crisco bathing, lard gargling, calorie thieving, cabbage patch face having, Dr. Robotnik looking, Wingstop eating, McDonald's gorging, T-Rex arm having, non-vegetable eating, cooking a George Foreman grill just to drink out the rich red, wide low, hungry hippo, pint it, pretending to have a fucking thyroid problem.
I know there's gonna be a lot of people out there calling me a bully. Well, guess what? I'm not. I just don't feel sorry for fat people, especially fat who sit there all day, gorge and eat, and make money for doing absolutely nothing.
There were a lot of other outbursts similar to this one, so he kind of built up a reputation for being a dude that would just explode on people. Like, the guy was very quick to anger, but I gotta say, these rants are pretty freaking hilarious, man. Like the guy has a way with words, so shout out to him. LTG was also very vindictive against anybody who criticized him. For example, the YouTuber June the King made a rise and fall video on LTG 3 years ago, which has over 2 million views at this point, and LTG was not a fan of this video, to say the least, alright? He tried to get it taken down. He then proceeded to harass June for over 2 years. June even made a 2.5 hour long video called My Cyberstalker Needs to Be Stopped, where he details how LTG doxed and harassed him. Nowadays, he just streams on Twitch, and I don't know, there's not really much to say about this guy. I don't think he's as bad as a lot of the other people on this list, besides being a massive dick. But hey, what are you gonna do? Chris Chan, aka Christian Weston Chandler, is the creator and author of the Sonichu comic series and is considered to be one of the most heavily documented people in human history. He's also a prime example of a lolcow. There's a community of people known as Christorians who catalog and archive Chris Chan's life story. One of the most popular Christorians is a guy by the name of Gino Samuel, who is currently on port 60 of his Chris Chan series, and there's no signs of stopping anytime soon. These videos are like 40 minutes long each, and they all get a ton of views, so you can see that there's clearly a lot of interest surrounding this character. So Chris Chan's claim to fame was a series of crudely drawn comics following the character Sonichu, which was a combination of Sonic and Pikachu. Chandler was so proud of his comic series that he would post them online and even wore a Sonichu necklace around his neck most of the time. His comic series really started to gain attention when somebody posted one of the issues to the Something Awful forums, where it was ridiculed by the users of the site. It was also discovered by somebody who knew Chris that he would frequently walk around the mall with a sign used to try and get a girlfriend. The sign read, 21 and single white male, shy, smart, young at heart, computer skilled. Humorous, a great thinker and a go-getter, natural salesperson, enjoys good parts of life, diplomatic, friendly, loves his family, peaceful, very creative, he's lonely, seeking cute 18 to 21 single female companion. Hey man, you say what you will about Chris Chan, at least he wasn't diddling kids. 18 to 21 years of age, does not already have a boyfriend, single, average to slender weight body type, white, lives in Charlottesville or Ruckerville's area, does not smoke or drink alcohol, happy positive personality, average / high income. Alright bro, I see you. Drives a vehicle, and then there's an image of the Sonichu face. And he ends it off with, if any men read this huge sign, mind your own business. And to all men with girlfriends except marrieds and blacks, go jump off a cliff. I wonder what he means by that. See man, this is what we had to do to get women before Tinder existed. Also, you can find a blurry image of him holding the sign in public, which, like, I don't know, reading that sign is one thing, but actually seeing him holding it up is another thing entirely, man. It's very uncanny valley for some reason. After his comics and antics became known to people, Chris would go on to become a target of online bullying and trolling for years to come. It also didn't help that Chris lived an extremely sheltered life and had pretty severe autism, which only fanned the flames of the trolls. And as time went on, his frustration with the bullying, combined with not being able to find a cute 18 to 21 female companion, his comics began to take a darker tone. People were fascinated by Chris Chan, and they continued watching every move he was making. One thing to point out about him is that the more he went without female companionship, the more desperate he got, which, you know, I think it's a sentiment a lot of us men can can relate to, but I don't know if we would take it as far as him. At one point, he went so far as to transition his gender, changing his name from Chris to Christina. And it's speculated that he underwent this transition just so he could hook up with lesbians, since he wasn't having any luck with women by conventional means. There's apparently emails out there proving this, but I haven't been able to find them. But the circumstantial evidence aside from the email proof is pretty in favor of the him just doing it to get with lesbians theory. Now, the Chris Chan saga ended on August 1st, 2021, where he would go to jail from stooping his own mother. Ugh, this is absolutely disgusting. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny because this is just sick. He took advantage of his elderly mother, Barbara, who suffers from dementia. He was arrested and jailed for this and is currently awaiting sentencing, I believe. Whatever happens, though, I really hope they don't send him to a women's prison. That would be a recipe for disaster. Man, you know, whatever you guys have to say about this guy, the whole situation is just sad. Like, on top of having a mental disability, his parents never gave him the proper help and only made things way worse for his mental well-being. Like, the guy never had a chance at being even remotely normal. Like, there's plenty of people out there with severe autism that are able to lead perfectly functional lives with the proper care, but this dude just never had a chance. His issues were probably amplified 100 times over, not only by his parents, but by the hordes of people who just wanted to laugh at his expense. Just super fucked up all around, man. Spoonie, also known by his real name Noah Antweiler, or the Spoonie One, started making videos all the way back in 2007. His content seemed to be inspired by the angry video game nerd who got his start making videos a few years before Spoonie. And, you know, I actually watched a few of his more popular videos from back in the day, and I gotta say, they were pretty good, man. They held up surprisingly well. Kind of reminds me of early JonTron. At his height, Noah was making great content beloved by many people. His content was witty, it was funny, and it had charm, alright? The guy had a ton of potential. Now, in 2008, a lot of YouTubers would start their own websites rather than continue to post on YouTube because they would make more money that way and avoid any copyright issues. One of these YouTubers was Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, who started GuyWithTheGlasses.com. He would also bring on Noah and a few other creators to help him out. Spoonie would quickly become one of the most popular creators in the collective, eventually starting his own website, The Spoonie Experience, which saw a decent amount of traffic. He also had a Patreon which at one point would make over $4,000 per month, and this was way back when the US dollar was actually worth something, so he was doing pretty good at that point. It's a far cry from what he's currently making from what I assume is people who forgot to cancel their memberships. I mean, he's making more than me, but still. Eventually, Spoonie would have a falling out with other members of the Guy with the Glasses and leave to start his own website, The Spoonie Experiment, which I mentioned earlier. This would basically be the beginning of the end for him. After his departure from the Guy with the Glasses, Noah started to get complacent, started getting lazy. His uploads started to slow down, and instead of producing the funny video game and movie reviews his fans came to know and love, he started doing streams. But despite all of that, his Patreon continued to grow, and Spoonie stated that when he reached $5,000 per month total, he would make his own film.
Somehow, you guys have reached the Patreon goal where it was listed that I would start work on a movie. And I was blown away by this. It was like, you guys are the best fans in the world. Oh my god. It was just astonishing. Oh my god. And thank you so much. What this means is that I believe in there I said I would put a movie into pre-production and that I would make it a priority. This is all true.
This video was made 8 years ago now, and guess what? There ain't no film.
Ain't no goddamn motion picture.
You sure? Oh yeah. Yeah? For certain, man.
His supposed work on this film also caused him to post even less, which angered fans, especially the patrons who were subsidizing his lifestyle. He also began to get an influx of negative comments and criticism, which caused him to turn the comments off on all his videos, which is universally recognized as a bitch move. Today, his channel is a sad reminder of wasted potential, with no uploads in over a year. He would also take down his website in 2018, and that's pretty much where we are today. Wings of Redemption. If Chris Chan is the king of lolcows, Wings of Redemption is the prince. He is a frequent target of trolling and harassment. I mean, this man gets shit on more than a $10 hooker. Wings, aka Jordy Jordan, began uploading Call of Duty videos to YouTube after 2008. The financial crisis caused him to lose his job and he had a lot of free time, so he decided, hey, Why not, post a few videos while I'm looking for a job? At the time, Call of Duty commentary was not very widespread, and he would quickly gain a following. At one point, he even joined Machinima and started a podcast with other popular YouTubers, Woody's Gamertag and FPS Kyle from FPS Russia, who we talked about a little earlier. But unfortunately, he would eventually be kicked off due to being unreliable and toxic. After his departure from the show, he would try to regain his former success as a independent YouTube creator, but Call of Duty was too saturated and not as popular as it once was, so he moved to Twitch where he found moderate success, even though most of the people who watched him just watched to make fun of him or troll him. Then in July of 2021, he would have his Twitch partnership revoked, forcing him to go back to live streaming on YouTube. Now, Jordy gets a ton of criticism from a bunch of different people, from people who dislike him, to his fans, to other YouTubers, and this criticism takes on a few different forms. Number one, he's quick to anger. This makes him very easy to troll because it doesn't take much to get an over-the-top response. A good example of this is when he was getting stream sniped by 3 dudes in Call of Duty. If you're unfamiliar with stream sniping, it's when an enemy player watches somebody's stream in order to know where they are at all times, making them a much easier target. People were also joining his team and trying to sabotage him, which he did not like very much.
Alright guys, if they join session again, I'm just gonna have to fucking stop playing until they leave. Like, all they're doing is hurting my livelihood. If somebody could please like get me their information, like maybe like I forgot what that shit's called, but like if somebody could get me like their information, like their name, their address, the number, how I can get in contact with these guys, I would really like to know, because like I'm seriously considering suing them.
Wings also frequently gets hopped up on G Fuel and gamer rages whenever he loses at Call of Duty.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck that nigga.
God damn, man, this guy spends more money on controllers every month than I spend on my mortgage. Number 2, he refuses to even hear criticism in any way, shape, or form. When somebody gives a suggestion, whether it be malicious or productive, he will not hesitate to ban somebody.
Joe got banned because he works against the idea that I want to make money. Ban anybody that says they have ad block. Can you go ahead and ban the word sniff, please? Ban Super Han. I'll ban him. Ban people that are laughing.
Can somebody ban Carolina Sky McLean, please?
Gil Thompson, this is why you get banned in my fucking chat. Say positive things.
BG, why aren't you banning these people?
Said there's a rumor I have HIV. Go ahead and ban people talking about that. Ban world, population you.
I'm banning anyone that tries to give me advice. That's beautiful. Man, this guy's moderator must be Rain Man, because nobody else could remember the list of bannable offenses Wings has. When you apply to be Wings' mod, one of the qualifications is you gotta have a photographic memory.
It gives you kind of like PTSD being a mod in my chat.
If you look at the comments of any videos involving him, a big portion of them will just be people memeing on his banning practices. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, this guy kind of has a point. You know what? From now on, I'm banning anybody that doesn't like and subscribe, so smash like.
Ban world, population you.
Number 3, playing the victim. There is a video on YouTube called Wings of Redemption Explains His Life in 32 Seconds, which kind of, does a good job at summarizing all of his issues.
My health is starting to fail. I don't have the money to deal with my health problems. I'm a continual failure on losing weight, and my YouTube channel went from 8 million views a month to 200,000 views a month. I live off the charity of others. I haven't seen my penis in probably 8 years. I'm bigger now than I've ever been. I have trouble sleeping. I don't take care of myself the way I should. Sugar controls my life 110%. I probably have untreated diabetes, and I basically have to play games for a living that I fucking hate.
Yeah, so as you can see from the video, he is aware and understands all of his faults, but he does absolutely nothing to improve on his situation. He just kind of complains about it. Which brings me to number 4, refusing to take responsibility for his own actions. He always blames his team members or other stuff when he loses instead of admitting his own faults.
You're not a level 134 with your movement. Yes, it's a Smurf account.
There you go, the blaming begins.
Alright, we're dropping Tony as well, man. I'm sorry, Tony, but like, you're just not ranked material, man.
Guys, you gotta pay attention to the fucking...
I know where it is, but nobody's helping me. Dude, I'm not putting my team down. It's just like they don't help. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have Ghost Dumonte. He's not a very good one.
Boy, what just happened, man?
We went on against a team I'd be trying to get y'all to play like. Come on, dude. You guys suck. Where did I get shot from? Oh my god, dude. Nobody's helping me. Really? Nah, this is a squad, man. But it's like Gustavo's 1 in 5. Like, Gustavo just shouldn't play Rainbow. Honestly. Why am I being so rude to them? They're not playing right. It's because I don't got anybody better. I got the only stack I can play with right now. God damn it. Why aren't you guys helping me?
I don't know, man. Yes, the guy is kind of a schlemiel who plays the victim, but at the same time, nobody deserves to be harassed like this dude gets harassed, so it's hard for me not to feel bad for him despite all of his many faults. Matt's What It Is, known as Matt Watson, is known mostly for one thing and one thing alone, and that is a video he made titled "YouTube is Facilitating the Sexual Exploitation of Children, and It's Being Monetized." This was back in 2019. In this 20-minute long video, he talks about how YouTube's algorithm is essentially a wormhole, providing easy access to grown men who have proclivities for young... You know what I'm saying.
I'm going to show you how this wormhole works, and there's several ways to get access to it, but if I just start here, and you might say, dude, you know, why are you watching bikini haul videos? I mean... who cares? That's besides the point here. Now, I'm just gonna start going through these videos. And eventually, 2 clicks. See this video here? I click that. I am now, dude, it couldn't be more perfect. 2 clicks, I'm now in the wormhole. So now that I've clicked on this, look at this sidebar. There is nothing but little girls.
On top of that, he also explained how child predators congregate in the comment sections of videos that are directed towards kids. One of the things they would do is timestamp moments in the videos where the girl is in a precarious position.
What these pedophiles do is they find these videos, they either take them from the original uploader, which looks like that might be the case here, and they upload them themselves, or they just all kind of brigade the video, and what they do is they timestamp. And the timestamps are the points in the video where the little girls are in compromising positions.
Not only that, but they were also trading social media information in the comments and linking to even more disgusting material.
As we continue to dive deeper here, trade social media contact info, and I have also found links to child.
He then went on to go at YouTube for allowing ads on this kind of stuff.
And there you have it, adverts. Comfy leather shoes. Now this video, there are no timestamps yet. There could be. It was only uploaded a little while ago. But I have multiple examples of big name brands. We're talking Dodge Ram, Disney in one video, a furniture company in another, where their adverts are appearing on videos where people, users, are timestamping the girls in compromising positions.
And this video really blew up, man. It really got everybody's attention, especially YouTube, who quickly went into overdrive trying to fix the situation because this story was spreading like wildfire and they were scrambling trying to put it out as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, internet normies and Facebook moms started grabbing their proverbial pitchforks and basically starting an internet riot, and huge advertisers started pulling their ads off of YouTube, essentially causing the Adpocalypse 2.0. Matt basically started his own movement called YouTube Wake Up, and in his video he had a call to action telling people to spread around the hashtag YouTube Wake Up, as well as sharing the video to spread awareness. But as the situation started to unfold, many people started to wonder if there wasn't more to Matt Watson, if perhaps maybe his intentions weren't 100% noble. YouTubers like Emp Lemon, Mr. Gigi, Keemstar, The Right Opinion all made videos poking holes in Matt's original video. Now, YouTube took pretty swift and immediate action soon after Matt's video was released. They deleted multiple accounts, they disabled comments on videos targeted towards kids. Keemstar said he reached out to YouTube before the video even blew up, and they said they were already working on it. And a lot of big YouTubers got involved in this as well and contacted YouTube to try to get this issue resolved. So you would think the situation would end right there and then, right? YouTube handled it, they were continuing to implement things that would prevent this stuff from happening in the future. That's it. But after his viral video, Matt would go on to post multiple live streams following it up. And in these live streams, he kept saying that YouTube wasn't doing anything and that the creator community wasn't doing anything. But this was clearly false. He also tried telling his audience to essentially spam advertisers to boycott YouTube for allowing this kind of stuff.
And he's also saying on these live streams to his newfound fandom that they need to spam advertisers, telling advertisers not to advertise on YouTube because their advertisements are next to a kid's video and there's pedos in the comment section. Now, when I heard this on Matt's live stream, I'm like, what are you doing? And this guy's trying to start the next adpocalypse.
So people started speculating that he had an axe to grind with YouTube, like he wanted to burn it to the ground for some reason. Listen, Matt has a point. Getting rid of kid diddlers is much more important than me making an extra buck. But at the same time, YouTube already said they were handling the situation. And they were, alright? It was provable. So why does everybody else need to suffer? I mean, this kind of stuff is very easy to say when you weren't able to get your own YouTube career off the ground. Which brings me to my next point. People also found Matt's old YouTube channel called Totally Uncreative, which painted him in a bad light.
Who is Matt Watson? And that's when we found Matt's original YouTube channel. Not the one where he uploaded this video, his original YouTube channel. The channel's called Totally Uncreative, and well, the few videos that are up there are very, very creepy. And that's when I saw this video on his YouTube channel titled, "The Cam Girl Ruined My Life." There's a schoolgirl walking down the side of the street, and Matt pulls up to her in a car, honking the horn, asking her if she wants to do an adult film with him.
Hi. Are you interested in shooting an adult video?
The videos were very cringe and rubbed people the wrong way, and it was kind of made to seem like he was upset at YouTube that his shitty content never took off. Amp Lemon even went so far as to theorize that Matt is a paid corporate shill that made this video to give advertisers more leverage when bargaining. Now, at the end of the day, what Matt did is a good thing. Okay, it's a net good if you think about it, but he did not handle it well. It came off as kind of vindictive, and it kind of made people who had nothing to do with this suffer. I'm sure if he brought up the issue in a different way and just stopped when YouTube actually said they were taking measures to correct it, he could have saved his reputation. Cause Keemstar is right when he says it seems like he's trying to get attention and look like the hero. But at the same time, Matt pretty much disappeared off the face of the internet not long after this whole situation, so I don't know if it's because of the accusations against him, but I think if he was that much of an attention seeker, he would have continued on to have a presence on YouTube either way. So I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Also, I don't know if it's fair to discredit what he was saying just because he made shitty content. Like, imagine if I called out somebody like that and people tried to discredit me by saying I made tier lists about banging cartoon moms. That wouldn't be fair. Behind the Meme was a YouTube channel ran by Kyle Bryce, which was very popular in the mid-2010s.
Hello Internet, and welcome to Behind the Meme. Today we have a look at the savage and evil Patrick Star meme. SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, that thing that was created solely to produce an endless supply of memes? Oh, yeah, and it's also a TV show or something like that, I guess. Squidward, who by the way has a nose that looks like, well, you know. Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
These videos were very, shallow and pedantic.
I agree. Shallow and pedantic.
I agree as well. Shallow and pedantic.
Thanks, Peter. Behind the Meme was criticized for having soulless, generic content that was made for views rather than passion, otherwise known as a content form. Think of Watch Mojo videos.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 booty songs.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, these videos were pretty lazy. Like, I'm pretty sure Kyle whipped up these bad boys on iMovie on his phone while sitting on the toilet taking a shit, but hey. At the end of the day, they were just an entry-level explanation of a meme to an audience that wasn't too much into internet culture, aka normies. After a very short period of time, Kyle's channel was growing at a massive rate, gaining over 700,000 subs in less than a year. He would also cultivate a lot of hate from many creators on YouTube. The two most common criticisms levied against him was that, like I said, he put no effort into his videos and just read off of Wikipedia and know your meme and called it a day. On top of that, people also accused him of explaining the meme wrong and putting false information in his videos, which led to his audience of normies overusing the memes or using them wrong, which in turn led to the memes dying quicker than they normally would. Large creators like Emp Lemon, Pyrocynical, and Anthony Fantano made videos roasting him, and pretty soon public opinion of him would completely turn against him. He would soon see his channel stagnate and would be on the receiving end of a lot of hate. And to be honest, I don't really think a lot of that hate was deserved. Some of it, sure, like the guy did make extremely lazy and basic content, but he didn't deserve the amount of negativity that was coming his way all the time. But at the same time, let's just say he did not handle this criticism very well. After a while, the backlash became too much for him to handle, so he stopped making YouTube videos completely. Then, about 3 months later, he would release a video called What Happened to Behind the Meme. Note to self, in it he talks a lot about how he did a lot of reflecting in these last 3 months and that he wasn't going to give up on his dream of being a YouTuber. He was going to come back better than ever. Spoiler alert, that would not happen. Instead, he made a 5-part video series starting off with number 1, the beginning, in which he goes into the store and buys a bottle of vodka. The following videos were very concerning. Number 2 consisted of him seemingly drunk and talking about how much he's suffering from all the hate directed at his channel.
When I first started this channel, I kind of just started it just to do it. Before I realized it, the channel and me through the process got a lot of hate. Hate for dumb reasons, if you ask me. Doing something that you enjoy and then seeing such a negative reaction from strangers, it started to get to me. It started to really get to me at a point, to be honest.
In number 3, he gets in his car drunk and drives around. The 4th video is the longest in the series, and in this one he's sitting on the floor drinking vodka and crying. And it ends on a very dark note.
I don't have any family, I don't have any friends. What I do have is a bunch of people on the internet who hate me. Cheers, guys. This one's to you. Thanks for being so fine and dandy. You know what? I have an idea. Let's play a little game. Everybody likes games. Let's play a game.
2 days later, he would release the final video in the series titled The End, RIP Behind the Meme, in which he holds a blaster up to his head, pulls the trigger, and fucking dies. I'm not going to show that here for obvious reasons, because actually Wavy Websurf just put a video up about him, and the video got age restricted for talking about this, so I'm not taking any chances. But long story short, he didn't actually whack himself, because if he did, then who would post the video? Anyways, the video ends with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline displayed on the screen, and it turns out it was just an awareness campaign, a social experiment, if you will.
Today I'm going to be doing a social experiment.
He then posted an explanation video of the whole thing, and it kind of made sense, I guess, but the reception to the series of videos was mixed at best. Some people praised him for spreading awareness for depression and bullying, other people accused him of manipulation.
Am I dead? As you might be able to tell, I am not. Sorry to have worried some of you guys who thought I might really be dead, but I promise you I did it all for a reason. You see, even though the videos I released were all acting and fake, they kinda weren't. Everything I said in the videos has once been my reality in the last couple of years. The channel has brought me extreme levels of happiness, but also extreme levels of sadness. At times, the hate and negativity has really gotten to me, and I would cope in ways that I'm not exactly proud of and don't really want to talk about. Let's just say that the videos do an accurate portrayal of some of my weekends in the past. So I created the series to serve 2 purposes. One was an alternate reality to what I was feeling and what others have felt due to the words and just the hate and just the bad vibes of other people. The other purpose of the series was to kill my channel. What do I mean by that? Am I quitting YouTube? Not exactly. But Behind the Meme as you once knew it is dead.
Either way, I think we need to take 2 important lessons away from the Behind the Meme saga. Number 1, brigading people with non-stop hate is bad. I mean, that should be obvious. The fact that I need to explain this is fucking insane. And number 2, you are inevitably gonna get hate online. The bigger you are, the more hate you will receive, alright? You know how many people in my comments tell me to go fuck myself? But you just gotta accept that as a cost of doing business, man. Or, you know, you could do what I do, go to their house with a lead pipe and smash their shins in. Just kidding, I don't do that. So anyways, Behind the Meme briefly tried to branch out making different kinds of content, but it did not work out for him, and his last video was posted in December of 2018. Mr. Anime, or Trey Eric Sessler, started his YouTube channel Lenscap Productions in 2006. His videos consisted of skits and reviews of anime, films, video games, and other media. His short but witty videos resonated with the YouTube community and helped him build a large following of over 3 million subscribers over the course of about 5 years. A common theme you can find in a lot of his videos is his love for guns. There's a lot of skits of him shooting people or getting shot, and he even has some weapon demonstration videos. People didn't really think anything of it because it didn't seem out of the ordinary, but this is going to come up again later. At some point along the way, Trey's content began taking a strange turn. His videos took on more of a violent tone, and he transitioned from anime reviews to talking about morbid topics like the Columbine shooting and serial killers and things of that nature. Then in March of 2012, he would post a video titled Mr. Anime is Planning Something.
Well, hi everybody, it's Mr. Anime here. This is just an update video to let you guys know that I'm going to reward myself with probably a 2 or 3 week break coming up here from YouTube videos, anime reviews in particular. I might do some blog stuff. I want to thank you guys a lot for sticking with me and watching the channel. I got more subscribers than ever. I have more views than ever, and everything is going really good.
He wouldn't post again for another month when he posted this video.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Anime here. And well, I have some pretty good news. Well, I have some kind of bad news, but it is good news. The good news is that I now found a full-time job in a department that I'm interested in, which is film. I'm still going to be doing the Google thing though, and I'm still going to be doing videos. So keep supporting Mr. Anime. I'll still be doing anime reviews, but probably not as many because this job will be full-time. But thanks to all of y'all, I've been able to be recognized by some people, and I'm going to be doing some good stuff.
A week after that video was posted, Mr. Anime would massacre his entire family using a shotgun, and he ended the lives of his mother, followed by his brother, and then his father. After this horrendous act, he would write messages all over the walls of his house, things like, "I will never forgive myself. I don't know why I did this." The following day, he drove to his former high school with 100 rounds of ammunition in his car and planned to eliminate as many people as he could. When he was later questioned by the authorities, he said the only reason he ended his family was so that they wouldn't have to witness him committing a mass casualty event. But thankfully, for some reason, while he was sitting in the parking lot of the high school, he decided against it at the last minute and ended up going to his friend's house instead, where he would be arrested by police. During questioning, he seemed regretful of his actions, but he also claimed that he was planning to do something like this for years.
You know, my family is, I would protect them with my life. At the same time, if anyone was going to hurt them, it was going to be me. They were the first immediate human targets in my sight. And if I was going to go out and do anything, they would have to go. I don't think a period of 2 or 3 days ever went by that I didn't think about some sort of violent act.
Only Use Me Blade, real name Brian Rizzo, was a Call of Duty YouTuber who rose to prominence from videos in which he would only use his blade. It was a pretty unique idea at the time, and people were impressed with his skill set and that he was able to be at the top of the leaderboards despite never even using a gun. As his popularity began to soar, Blade would get his first big break when he started to develop a relationship with Keemstar. They became they became podcasters. Blade even moved across the country to live close to Keemstar so the two of them could start their own podcast, Bad Kid Productions, or BKP. The pair also collaborated on a few videos together, and this was way before Keem started doing Drama Alert. Now, despite having a relatively successful podcast, Blade's own channel would suffer around this time. People began to get tired of Call of Duty, and the market was oversaturated, and people were also getting sick of Blade do basically the same thing in every video. His shtick of only using a knife was just getting old, and it's not something that really was able to translate over to other games. So eventually he did what every failing YouTuber does and made the transition over to Twitch, where he would do something called drunk streams. This is where he would get completely shit-faced off Jaeger for the entertainment of others, and this would prove to be the worst decision of his entire life. This guy was an absolute putz when he was drunk. He would say racist stuff, he would grope women, he would trip all over the place like an idiot. It was an absolute mess. But unfortunately, this was the only thing that was getting him views. People loved watching this idiot stumble around and make a fool of himself. So he had to continue doing the drunk streams, which eventually led to him being a severe alcoholic. But we're not even close to the end yet. In 2018, Blade met Ice Poseidon, who was an extremely popular IRL streamer on Twitch, and Ice decided that Blade would make a great addition to his streaming collective, so he brought him on board. While he was a member of Ice's crew, Blade just continued to spiral out of control. Like, this guy was just groping multiple women without asking them. He would urinate all over the house. At one point, he even threw a dog, and that was the last straw for Keemstar. After the dog throwing incident, Keemstar would cut all ties with Blade after attempting to get him to stop drinking multiple times with no success.
Alright, I'll do it. You want to? What?
While on an RV trip that was being live streamed, Blade was talking to another guy named Bjorn and said this about another member of their group who happened to be female.
Can I go have sex with Coaches real quick? What? Can I go have sex with Coaches real quick? Hi guys, I'll be right back. I gotta...
Then he goes back to where the passed out girl is and gets next to her in bed.
Is he really going to do that? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh no.
At one point, the door to the room is open and you can see some thrusting. And if that wasn't enough evidence to show you that this guy was up to no good, this is what the girl had to say the next morning when she woke up. Now, knowing what a piece of trash this guy is, and knowing he has a history of groping women without asking, what do you guys think are the odds that he didn't do anything? I don't even know how this deflated balloon looking ass man is still walking around with no repercussions. Now, there's another clip I want to show you guys so we can get a better idea of Blade's character, alright? It's not as bad as the assault thing that just happened, not nearly as bad, but it's still incredibly cringe and gross. So, Blade invites one of his biggest fans over for a New Year's party, and the dude brings his wife too, because he loves Blade. In fact, he loves Blade so much, he's such a big fan that he actually proposed to his wife that he brought in front of Blade a year or so before this happened. So, during this party, Blade made out with the dude's wife while he was upstairs getting a drink, and the dude walked downstairs and saw the whole thing.
Oh! Hey! Crispy, come here! Crispy! Crispy! Crispy, come here! Crispy!
Bro, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally, okay? This man looks like a dirty diaper filled with used needles, and this girl looks like the Michelin Man's twin sister. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about Blade. And you know what? I really hate to say this. I really hate to say this about people. But this guy's a real jerk. Zillion OP is a disabled Twitch streamer who was confined to a wheelchair. He never mentioned why he was in the wheelchair, but it became part of his identity as a Twitch streamer. And he had a pretty successful career on Twitch, doing some good numbers and getting an ass ton of donations and subscriptions. Now, a lot of these people donated and subscribed because they liked his content. Other people did it maybe out of some sort of pity because he was in a wheelchair. But then one day, a miracle happened. The man was miraculously healed of his affliction and got up and started walking. So as it turns out, the guy was only temporarily in a wheelchair after an accident. Like, when he originally started streaming, he was in a wheelchair, and according to him, he still needs the wheelchair, just not as much. Like, he's slowly building up his ability to walk again.
Do you feel like you screwed up in the sense that, like, when you are integrating your disability so much in stream that it may have put off a certain image that you were wheelchair bound when you weren't? Are you willing to admit that perhaps not updating people was a mistake there?
It was my biggest mistake, not updating people. And I guess I have no defense for it. All I can say is the facts of, from day one, I needed the wheelchair. After my stream was done, I still needed the wheelchair. You can see in the video, I'm pretty hunched over. I'm not used to walking yet. And I still use the wheelchair to get around. If I needed to go to the store, I absolutely needed it. I could not walk through an entire store. There was no way that I could walk that far.
Okay, so I'm going to combine the next two people into one entry, Monkey Jones and Elliot Rogers. And now this is probably the part that's going to get this video demonetized. So Monkey Jones, now known as Simian Jimmy, is a satirical YouTuber who made videos that covered a range of topics, from skits to anime reviews to commentary. His content was pretty edgy, even for the time. In 2017, he would have his YouTube account taken down after getting strikes on the video's top 10 most lethal methods and Monkey's declassified Sharia law survival guide, which both violated YouTube's community guidelines. Eventually, YouTube removed the strikes and restored his channels, but this wouldn't be the last time that he had an issue with YouTube taking down his channel. Monkey's most notorious videos were his series on Elliot Rogers, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about this guy because you'll see why in a second. Anyways, Elliot Rogers was a pathetic loser who had a very privileged upbringing in LA. He was a typical socially awkward, shy loser that was mad at the world because he felt that he was owed certain things. He was angry at society that a supreme gentleman such as himself wasn't able to get a girlfriend, but all these other douchebags were up to their pussies and elbows. Wait, that's not right. You get what I'm saying. Elliot documented his issues with society in a manifesto that was over 100,000 words long, and also through a series of 21 videos which he posted to YouTube. All of his contempt built up until one day he took out his frustrations at the world by carrying out a mass homicide. Now, I should mention, Elliot was a lifelong loser all the way to the end, and when he was carrying out his attack, nothing went according to plan. But despite this, 6 people still needlessly lost their lives, all because this putz couldn't get a girlfriend. Now, as I was saying, Monkey made a whole video series on this putz, and these videos were kind of weird in a way because he tells a lot of jokes and makes fun of him a lot. The style is more similar to like a Cody Ko video than the typical way you would expect somebody to talk about a guy who just massacred a bunch of people. Now, I'm not even saying it's a bad thing that they have a funny tone, and despite that, the intention is not to trivialize the situation, but rather to make Elliot look like a complete schlemiel. And these videos did the exact opposite of glorifying him. In addition to talking about Elliot himself, Monkey would also talk about Elliot's father, who he said shared some of the blame of the attack because of the way he raised Elliot. Now, fast forward about a year, and Monkey would have his channel taken down again, but this time neither he or anybody else knows the exact reasons. All we know is that he received strikes on his Elliot Rogers videos, but he was never told what the exact issue was. But, I mean, hey, that's YouTube for you. People are still speculating why he's got his channel taken down to this day. Some people think that it was Elliot's dad who had like connections with YouTube and had it taken down, and other people think that the FBI was involved. And it was strange because these videos were out for a year before YouTube did anything about it, and then he just received multiple strikes at one time, which, yeah, that's weird, but at the same time, you never know what they're doing over at YouTube headquarters, man. It's a shit show in there. Monkey Jones lives on today with his channel Simian Jimmy, so go check it out. Jessie Slaughter. Her story starts off with the website StickyDrama.com. Sticky Drama has been described as the following. Sticky Drama and its sister porn site Sticky Nudes are two of the worst sites on the internet, built on exploiting teens and tweens' insecurities and then publicly humiliating them. It was basically a site to like roast people and also for internet celebrity gossip. On July 10th, 2010, a Sticky Drama user accused the lead singer of Blood on the Dance Floor of stooping a young girl named Jessica Leinhart. BOTDF lead singer Devi Vanity is at it again. He apparently is having a friend with benefits type relationship with a self-proclaimed scene queen, Jessie Slaughter, who's only 11. I have also talked to other people who say that they did F last summer when she was just 10. Jessie Slaughter, whose real name was Jessica Leinhart, would respond to the accusation with the following message. People, STFU, this is a very private matter and I'm dealing with it. The post ruined my life. And yes, that was my status on MySpace because I saw a squirrel fall out of a tree in my backyard. I was funny to me. My mom has read this and is talking to Davi on the phone right now. So I would shut your mouths if I were you. I have my life and Davi has his. We are just friends. Now, this was a different time. So instead of people going after the guy who allegedly had coitus with an 11-year-old, they would harass the girl herself instead. And it didn't help things that she also had a very weird way of writing. But she was 11, bro. She eventually made a video addressing all the harassment and online bullying she was receiving from others.
Hey YouTube, it's Jessie Slaughter here, and this is to all you fucking haters, okay? Guess what? You guys are bitches, you know what? You don't faze me. I'm just doing this just so you can tell. I read the comments, I read the messages, I reply to them, but you know what? I don't give a
Man, I'm sorry, but this video is hilarious, bro. Like, why is she cursing so much? Oh, and we can't forget about this quote.
And if you can't, like, realize that and stop hating, then you know what? I'll pop a Glock in your mouth and make a brain slushy.
This video went viral when it was posted to 4chan, and you know once those degenerates get involved, shit was gonna get heavy. They were quickly able to find her personal information, including where she lived, and for the next few weeks, her house would be inundated with mail packages and prank calls. As a result of the relentless harassment, Jessie posted a tearful response video when suddenly her dad interjected and started saying some wild shit.
This is Jessie Slaughter. I just want to tell you guys that you ruined my life.
And I'm not gonna put up with any of you people's crap anymore. If you ain't got something nice to say about my daughter, then keep your mouth shut, and any more of your comments to put on there, I'm recording them all and they are being sent to the police department. And guess what? Your emails will be caught and will be found, and who said you're gonna beat my daughter up? You will have to deal with the police, because you done goofed.
You bunch of lying, no good punks. And I know who it's coming from because I back traced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police and the state police. So you better write one more thing or screw with my computer again. You'll be arrested. End of conversation from her father.
You're fucking gonna come and beat her ass.
And if you come near my daughter, guess what? Consequences will never be the same. You lying bunch of pricks.
Now, in this short video, this man would say at least 4 meme-worthy phrases, and of course, he would inadvertently increase the harassment against them many times over. People all over the internet were memeing on them at this time. People even created websites based off the things he was saying, like youdonegoof.com and becauseIbacktracedit.com. Due to the virality of this video and the sheer amount of harassment Jessie and her family were receiving, they were placed under police protection, but things would only continue to get worse for Jessie and her father. At one point, an argument between them was recorded, and Gene apparently hit Jessie, which led to him being arrested for child abuse.
Don't unplug that computer.
You're such a fucking nut. Don't tell me come back tomorrow and I might give a fuck. Jessica, I don't trust anybody. Anybody. Especially your friend.
He would then later unfortunately pass away from a heart attack at the age of 53. This situation more than likely contributed to his passing. Around this same time, Jessie also revealed that she was now in foster care and had been in multiple mental health institutions over the last couple of weeks.
I'm in foster care. I have been locked up in mental institutions, and just like you said, I do have to go to counseling now and everything.
Now, before we finish this thing out, let's talk about this piece of human trash, Devi Vanity. In an interview with Chris Hansen, Jessie, or Damien as she's now known, admitted to Chris that Davi did in fact take advantage of her at a party when she was just 10 years old.
Do you think Jesus Torres is watching tonight, Davi Vanity?
Probably.
And if you could look him in the eye, if he is watching tonight, what do you say to him?
You done goofed.
And Jessie isn't the only victim of this animal. He's been accused by over 20 different girls who were underage at the time. And he's also been called a predator by former band members. So like, why is this guy not in prison? Z Fixes Art is an internet artist that would fix other people's art. And keep in mind, nobody asked her, alright? She just did it without consent, which is basically assault. And how exactly would she fix this art? By making the characters fat, black, and giving them a big nose. Now, this was incredibly cringe, but Z would really land herself in hot water when she took things too far one day. She fixed the art of another popular YouTuber, Creepshow Art, and left her a pretty nasty critique. The faces are misshapen and your shading is hideous. Your internalized misogyny is showing you, Roach, LMAO. Don't be afraid to draw fat women next time. I mean, what happened after this is anybody's guess. I wasn't really able to figure it out, but from what I can tell, like, she doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. I don't know if she deleted it, but she definitely got a lot of backlash after that comment. Amberlynn Reed is a rotund YouTuber who began posting vlogs in 2013. Over the course of her YouTube career, she would go on to gain 200,000 subscribers and 200 pounds. Seriously. At the time of her first video, she weighed around 350 pounds, and she's currently clocking in at approximately half the weight of your mom, 520 pounds. Oh, and the best part of all this, her channel, ironically, started off as a weight loss channel.
Hi, my name's Amberlynn, and I wanted to start, a YouTube channel for weight loss. I see a lot of videos of other people doing it, and it's so motivating, and it's just something I'm really interested in doing.
Actually, one of the top comments in this video was a guy saying, the awkward moment when you start a weight loss YouTube channel and gain 200 pounds. Now, I really don't want to make it seem like I'm going after this woman just because she's large, but you'll see why I'm kind of going a little bit hard at her, because this chick is kind of like the female version of Nikocado Avocado, except without being funny or entertaining. In fact, at one point she actually had a beef with Nikocado. And I don't mean that they ate a whole cow together. I mean, Nick was trolling her a little bit, and she even made a video titled Amberlynn Reed, We Need to Talk. Amberlynn has drawn heavy criticism over the years for her victim mentality and refusal to take responsibility for her health. As an extreme example, in 2020 she was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and even this wouldn't convince her to take charge of her health and her weight. If you watch through her catalog of videos, which I don't suggest anybody do unless you hate yourself, you'll see a common trend. She'll start a new diet and seem committed to it for a few days, but after a short period, she'll just give up. And this process has been continuous for the last 9 years or so. For some reason, people can't stop watching her. Like, my girlfriend actually introduced me to this woman because she used to watch her channel on an almost daily basis, and it just makes no sense because her videos are boring. You're just slowly watching somebody gorge themselves to death. But I feel like I should mention a very large portion of her viewers just hate watch her. Back when YouTube still had dislikes, her videos would get mass disliked. And I don't know, man, I'm kind of conflicted on this one, because on one side, I do feel bad for her because she claims she has, a binge eating disorder, which is an actual mental disorder that makes people addicted to food. But at the same time, if I could beat my nitrous oxide addiction, anybody can quit anything. But yeah, I know I joked around a little bit. Amber, if you're watching this, I really hope, you get the help you need. I hope, maybe you consider doing some weight loss surgery or something and it works out for you, because, I love seeing people lose weight, bro. I was, up until a few weeks ago, I was considered obese myself. I'm on the way to getting back to my peak physical form. But yeah, I always love to see anybody succeed. And, yeah, Carl H. If you guys watch my disturbing Reddit post, Iceberg, you probably already know about this guy. But if not, I'm gonna talk about him now. Carl H., also known as Carl Harold, was a Reddit user who was active on the r/learn programming subreddit, where he would help beginners learn how to code. He also ran his own subreddit as well as a website and a YouTube channel that featured programming tutorials. Carl quickly made a name for himself as one of the best resources for aspiring web developer or computer programmers. He had a reputation for being friendly and helpful and just an all-around good guy. But as is often the case with people like this, it was all a facade to mask his evil. Carl was an absolute monster. He was arrested in 2013 for doing things involving his son that were so horrible it would make even Jeffrey Epstein blush. But before he was sent to go to trial, he would take his own life in his jail cell like a coward. So people like this guy are the reason I don't trust people that are overly friendly. Live corpse. Growing up with limited funds in the mid-2000s meant you probably spent a lot of time on LimeWire, making your family computer more virus-ridden than an orgy at Magic Johnson's house. But this isn't about LimeWire at all. I only brought it up because I didn't know where else to put that Magic Johnson joke, because I thought it was pretty good. No, this is about another website which was very popular in the mid-2000s, Newgrounds.com. If you're not familiar, Newgrounds hosted user-generated Flash games and animations. One of the most prolific posters on Newgrounds was a guy by the name of Adam Fulton, or Live Corpse as he was better known. Adam posted over 100 animations on Newgrounds from 2003 to 2004, but this was a quantity over quality situation as most of his videos were not very good. Despite this, he was still able to build up a cult following and was pretty popular on the site. But all of this would change on June 8th, 2004. During an altercation with his neighbor, Adam would end up stabbing him and going on the run. At one point, he shot a police officer and continued to run until he was finally able to elude law enforcement. After about 3 days, he was able to find his way back to his apartment. He went in and wrote 2 emails to his family. The first email starts like this: "By the time you read this, I will have ended my life. For the past 3 days, I have been a fugitive from justice following events of nightmarish proportions. The main thing is that I injured an innocent police officer who did nothing wrong." He would then go on to describe the situation which unfolded. Basically, Adam's alcoholic neighbor aggressively entered his house without permission and attacked Adam in a drunken rage. Adam defended himself and stabbed the neighbor, not intending to injure him seriously in any way. But when the police showed up soon after, Adam panicked and shot a police officer. In his words, "I snapped. I felt nothing but fear. It was either run away or die trying. So I headed out the door, turned the corner, and I'm face to face with a scary man in a black uniform. Officer Derrickson. I acted out of pure insanity and drunkenness." In the next email, he would express a great deal of guilt and remorse for the shooting the police officer. He also said how he would never survive in prison and he did not want to be a criminal fugitive. So the only solution in his eyes was to end himself. And unfortunately, that's exactly what he did immediately after writing these emails. And you know, despite the fact that he did do some bad stuff, Adam suffered from a lot of mental health issues, and the 2 people who he had altercations with both only had minor injuries. So at the end of the day, it's just very sad. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mr. Swirlface, I'm gonna try to keep this one brief because yeah. So, sometime in the mid-2000s, photos began circulating around the internet of a man doing highly inappropriate things with young kids. His face was obscured by a swirl filter, which is where his name comes from. This kicked off a massive Interpol manhunt. First, they were able to reverse the swirl filter and unveil his true face. This eventually led police to a man living in Thailand named Christopher Paul Neal. Turns out he was a 31-year-old English teacher from Canada. He was arrested in Thailand and sentenced to 6 years in prison. After serving his sentence in a Thai prison, he was then extradited to Canada, where he was sentenced to probation. Probation! For diddling at least a dozen kids. Eventually, after getting hit with some other charges, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, which was later reduced to 15 months because of time served. Now he's just walking around free in Canada, so shout out to the Canadian justice system. Another job well done. Whew, we finally did it, man. We finally made it to the end. I'm gonna be honest, when I picked this particular iceberg, I was like, man, let me just bust this out in 2 weeks. This will be quick. No. But yeah, man, that's all I have. After this iceberg, I'm gonna finish up the Internet Mysteries one, and then I'm done. Alright? The iceberg era is over after that. But you know, maybe if this video does really good, I'll reconsider, alright? Maybe I'll do another one if it does well. Maybe. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. I know I said at the beginning of the video that I didn't care, but you know what? I was just trying to be cool. I was trying to be nonchalant. So please like and subscribe because I do care. Oh, and one last thing before I leave you guys. If you want to support me financially in the hopes that I'll be able to do this full time one day, please consider donating to my Patreon. Not gonna lie, you're probably better off doing literally anything else with that money, but hey, if you want to donate, if you want to waste your money, I won't stop you. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. As always, please let me know what you think in the comments. I'm out of here. Later.